Hey, good evening. It's 8:57 p.m. It is, I believe it's Sunday, right? Yeah, it's Sunday. It's March 30th, and I just got done reading over and finishing my second quarter newsletter, which the link will be in the description box. For this particular video, I decided to just like show one slide because I'm really tired, okay? I'm just like, I don't want to sit here and sort through the slides, although I do know that it is helpful. And chances are this is going to be kind of a lengthy video because I just feel like rambling on about some stuff. As I was writing out, my newsletter, so much has like been like I'm putting the pieces together. And yes, I was right about what I had discussed when I first created my channel for this particular channel, the one back in 2015. I understood how to recognize signs of mind control. And nobody paid any attention to me. As a matter of fact, it was just taken like, very lightly. No one really took it seriously. And now we're at this point where, I think the obsession and the need to control has created this problem, which has resulted in a lot of businesses going under and whatnot because of the policies that they chose to eliminate. Not my fault. Not my fault. I will not take any blame for this at all. But and I'm not going to sit here and try to be like, oh, I told you so. Okay. My main point, my main goal right now is to unwind this as much as we possibly can. It is no. I don't believe it's a good idea for me to keep my ideas to myself like I used to. Like I used to. Literally, I used to like maybe be at someone's house or maybe see like a flash of the news or maybe something, and I would immediately just put it out of my mind because it would just piss me off. All of it would just piss me off. I can't stand it. I don't want to hear it. I feel as though people could be very petty and they lose focus on what is really important. Okay? And this happens from everything from the school system to, your workplace and everything else. It's like, I understand people are all over the place because there's a chaotic energy that is always generating, always vibrating, and it's generational. So many people have been raised in these religions. And like I said, I am somebody who has no problem with people who are able to get in touch with the spiritual side of themselves and have a different agreement or disagreement with me. Like just because, some people, like I talked about, our personal connection to God, which, Freemasonry has already always been open to, right? And like I said, these branched off religions or these branched off spiritual ideas are just watered down versions of true spirituality. That's why we have all these deviations, okay? Because people see it as a money making issue, okay? Whereas I am more seriously 100% into the spiritual aspect of it, okay? Of my connection to the divine. So, I don't have an issue with that at all. But apparently, I know that a lot of people did. And anyway, I'm getting off the subject. I know that right now I just finished the newsletter, and like I said, these ideas, the understanding of what I meant to these people and the long-term abuse that I have received from this particular religious organization, which did formulate alliances with other religious groups. And I have always known, even going back to the days of Maria Gordon as a teenager, I always recognized this as a sign of mind control. Now, everybody has the idea of having a belief. There's nothing wrong with being friends with people who have a different belief system than you, okay? But when they're using it to bully up on somebody, you should know that that is a cult, okay? And because I walk around in my head knowing how to avoid all of these traps in life, okay? People want to throw the woke title on me, okay? And I think the idea of, I'm trying to understand what people conjure up in their head when we talk about woke people. Because like I said, I'm the last to know about, any catchphrases and stuff like that. Because like I said, Maria has been in hermit mode. I do not watch TV. I have not watched TV since like consecutively, okay? Since so many years. I would say probably the late 80s, okay? And then I would say like when the 90s came around, there were certain shows that I watched, like I watched Cartoon Network, loved like Space Coast to Coast. I would watch, you know, the Nickelodeon shows with my son, right? And then I used to watch Ellen's show. And that was pretty much it. Okay, I didn't really watch anything consistently or like watch. I definitely didn't watch the news. And when people would talk to me about what was going on in the news, I usually just like found some excuse to just walk off. I didn't want to hear about it. You know what I mean? Because I was tired of people's mind control. And I kept thinking, okay, it's okay if these people want to be that dumb and believe this shit if they want to. You know what I mean? They want to, you know, try to drag me and entangle me into their argument just so they can play games with me. I wasn't interested in any of that. Okay, but now that I've experienced something that has been extremely traumatizing, it's made me look at things differently. Like this is not just people being uninformed. Okay, these people are dangerous in the condition that they're in. This is when it's not even like, you know, because sometimes, you know, you get together or people, or like I remember used to tell my son and my dad, I remember my dad used to talk to me about the same thing, you know, how he really didn't like dealing with people. He didn't like dealing with people. He understood that they were insensitive. He understood there were things that some people did that just was very cold and heartless. Okay, but I can tell you, it is very cold and heartless. Okay, we have people who want to tear people's eyes out for no apparent reason, and it's easy to do. Like I told you, people can sway one way or the other. It's easy to manipulate the minds of people, especially, okay, when you're giving them perks or favoritisms. Okay, and this is something that a lot of cults do. Now, I wanted to talk about some of my intuitive messages. I have been referring to this person as net worth billionaire boy, okay, because I do believe that we kind of live in an illusionary world where things aren't always presented in the way that they really are. Okay, so I am using this term until you get to my newsletter. Then I'm going to mention this person's name, okay? But, you know, I do understand that because if he was highly indoctrinated, I do believe he has been raised in this. Now, I have not like sat down and like, you know, been thinking like, I wonder how long he's been in it. Was he raised in it? Was his, you know, great, I'm not going that deep, okay? I'm not going that deep yet, okay? Maybe, like, you know, because I'm talking to this person, and hopefully I'm talking to the right person. I haven't even confirmed that yet. You know why? Because I would say that this issue is very heavy on me. But I do know that this man was indoctrinated by the Mormon Church. And I wasn't aware that this man possibly was meant to be set up as my nemesis. Okay, now I know that throughout my years of dealing with my targeting with the Mormon Church, I will say that most of the people that come into my life, including my own family, were set up to betray me. This is one of the tactics that these people use to get you under their control. Also, I do understand that it is their belief system that they want to, or their wax they actually did, you know, spread their doctrine through a lot of different places. Okay. And the thing is that, you know, when I talk about the new earth, I'm referring to a peaceful place where the presence of God is felt in everything that you think, say, and do in a pleasant way. Like a society that functions intelligently, a society that functions, what do you call it, independently, right? People can flourish and there's plenty of wiggle room. You know what I mean? So wiggle room is there's not a shitload of human scrap heap running around, right? This is the kind of new earth that I understood in biblical terms, okay? Now, I understand that there's things called, you know, I believe that, you know, the Mormons targeting me was a way of, well, they've been targeting me forever, okay, like going back to the CB issue. And they always bring up these issues. And I know that there's total peace, okay? I do get this feeling that I am at peace with the Mormon Church, okay? But you got to understand, this is all very shocking to me. Very shocking, because, you know, I've been, you know, I talked about Mormons many times. As a matter of fact, there's a video that I referenced that I listened to this morning that I made back in 2015, referencing, you know, talking about different religions that prophesize, and yes, I did mention the Mormons, okay? At the time, you know, when I made this in 2015, I had no idea that they were the root of the problem. But what I'm saying is, going back to Mr. Network Billionaire Boy, you know, the thing is that I know that, yeah, I was talking about how they use people to betray you. Now, I do believe that they were you know, they encourage these things. And I do believe that they encourage him to say things and do things because, you know, hey, he works for these people, right? These people are the people behind the scenes manipulating because they are Mormon, okay? And so, you know, I didn't realize that there was really a correlation between what was going on. Hang on a second. Okay, I didn't realize that there was really a correlation that was going on with me and like world events until I would say, you know, I started, you know, sinking into like exactly who C.B. Braganza was, what he meant, and then looking into his past life as King Solomon, right? So King Solomon, you know, people know who he is. And I kept looking back on my encounters with people and how they used to look at me, you know what I mean? And how they would like treat me and, you know, always, you know, testing me. And I keep thinking back to things that happened to me in the past, which confirms confirms these ideas of who I am. Okay, so I understand that the LDS Church is idea of having control is by, you know, bringing back clones who or people who have were once people that they secretly envied. Okay, this is why they feel like they want to get back at people, these clones that are now here, okay, throughout the course of time, it has been their goal to humble you. Some of you guys may have been kings, queens, princes, whatever, and living comfortably and whatever. And this is what they wanted to bring you back for. Revenge. Okay, revenge, not because you didn't love God, not because of you didn't do this. It was just for the fact of the bloodline and the need to feel superior. And their view of superiority was to rule. Okay, but this is what I'm saying. This is not how you rule. Okay, you harm people. So let's just say, for example, you know, their little idea of creating the new world order. Okay, because this is what I believe that their goal was. The idea of creating a new world order under the conditions and how they tend to treat people like cattle. You will have the exact same duplication, just with less people. Okay, because you are creating misery. You create the feeling of lack. You create the feelings of negativity. You create the feelings of depriving people of what they're naturally supposed to be. Okay? And therefore, you know, this creates the need to enact certain things. People have need to release it some way. They'll either start developing strange fetishes, okay? Rape is not out of the equation, okay? When people feel that much oppression, they are going to act out. They're going to explode. That is not in any way me justifying their action, okay? I'm not, okay? But I'm just saying is the reason why this country was set up to be the way it is because people understood the importance of freedom. Now, some freedom scares the hell out of the only people that scares the hell out of that word are people who are just so eager to oppress others. People who really want to control you. Okay, and to me, the ultimate form of control is this scary thing of cloning. That to me, it shakes me to the core. Okay, it shakes me to the core that they would actually do something like that. Do you understand how? Oh my God, to me that is, oh my God, it's just unspeakable. It's unspeakable. Okay, now like I said, I don't see anything wrong with people who have experimented with the cloning process, and because there are benefits to it. Like I said, you know, what would happen if somebody, you know, you cared about, they died, and then you mourn them, and they can come right back. Okay, this is one of the beautiful things that the Jehovah's Witnesses were looking forward to. Okay, and I can see the benefit of that. I totally can. But see, the thing is, you purposely bring people back to treat them as slaves, to reduce them from what they were only for your pleasure and your gain and the things that you obtain from them. Yes. Okay, so this new generation of Mormons who follow, you know, this tradition of dehumanizing people all these years, okay, that's what they've been doing without, you know, without even having to think about it. It just became natural to them. It's just like second nature to them. Why? Because this is something, and their views, their ideas have worked into something very corrupt. It's the truth, okay? And I know that they know it too. Okay, so there are many people who are traumatized by this religious abuse. Okay, because a lot of people, like I said, they may not even realize that it's the religious abuse. And the reason why they have a hard time facing the fact that it's a religious abuse, or even admitting that it's a religious abuse, is because religion, or saying something about religion, has always been a touchy subject, and it was designed to be that way. Okay? It was designed to be that way by the churches, okay? The churches, the kinds of churches that wanted the control, okay? That wanted to basically own you, destroy you, not spiritually uplift you, but people who wanted to have this enacting the bloodline thingy, okay? Now, I do understand that, based in the Bible, all these different books that were created, that's why we have all these different books, like, Mark, Luke, John, and we have like Samuel and all these different books, okay? And the reason why we do is because, they were written by different people from different points, from different standpoints, different viewpoints. And this is one of the reasons why a lot of people say, oh, I feel like the Bible does contradict itself. Yeah, of course it's going to. It's going to have little inconsistencies, because some people are like, well, I didn't think that this was okay, but I think this is okay, because you were thinking and reading it from a different author, a different perspective. Do you see what I'm saying? So it's not necessarily saying that, the Bible is all, I'm just saying is, everybody had their own view of how things occurred, what they experienced in it, or their point of view, or their account, okay? Like, I could sit here and okay, maybe 20 years from now, okay, if we're still here, or the way things are going. But, like, if 20 years from now, people are reflecting on this issue, and we're talking about what happened in history, okay? It's like, will people remember those details in the way that they happened? Like, one person's going to say, oh, well, I remember it this way, and then the other person's going to come back and say, I remember this, but I also remember this, this, and this. They're going to add more details, or they're going to abstract more details, okay? That's just how things are, and that's pretty much how the Bible is. But I do understand that the goal was to always want to have the chosen one, or be the chosen one, okay? To be the one who has the enlightenment, the one who has the ability to be like that's one of the reasons why they talk about the Son of God, okay? The Messiah, the chosen one, whatever, okay? And so I do believe that these people believe that I am. And I believe that I have a spiritual calling. I do believe that I am someone who is supposed to bring about something. I am King Solomon, okay? And I do understand that the Messiah was supposed to come out of the line of David. So perhaps, maybe. And I'm saying this to be humble, okay? But, it's like, yeah, okay, I do believe that I am the chosen one. But it's hard to say something like that, okay? It's hard to say something like that because, people are like, wow, I don't want people to think, oh, you're being arrogant. I'm not. I have never shown any arrogance. I've shown that I am confident, you know what I mean? But I understand spiritual pride, okay? Spiritual pride, like when you're like puffed up thinking that these powers are coming from you and only you, like, no, I mean, this is something bigger that works through me, and I have to acknowledge that. So yeah, about the religious abuse, yeah, we're taught, or churches teach people to be ashamed of it or to be hush about it. I know that there was some people from another faith, not the Mormons, it was a Jehovah's Witness a few years ago, and it kind of, their churches used to, or they don't call it churches, they actually call it a kingdom hall, okay? But, they used to believe in not letting family members report things like abuse to the authorities because, that would make the entire organization look bad, okay? So then I guess the kids had to eat it, and a lot of kids did eat it. What I mean by eat it is, like me, I have to suffer. I get no compensation through the legal system. I'm not, I can't just go out and find a job. I have to go through this rigmarole of being sick all the time, dreading it, worrying about what I'm going to have to do when I get there. Are people going to leave me alone? Can I just do my work? Yeah, my work going to be taken seriously? It's like always some sort of worry. Anyway, but anyway, I'm getting off something, and I'm talking too much, and my gosh, you only have one slide, for goodness sake. Anyway, so Mr. Billionaire Boy, I believe his handlers, okay, are humbled, and I'm glad that they are, okay? But my biggest issue about this sort of mentality that they've had, that they've been accustomed to having, that they are used to having, is going to be very difficult for people to deprogram. And what I mean by that is, and I'm going to tell this person, net worth billionaire Brian, I hope you're listening, that it's very important when you're interacting with these people to still be very careful when you're interacting with them. Why? Because throughout their entire life, all they have known in any sort of social interaction, in anything that they've ever done, is how to manipulate. They do not know how to negotiate. They do not know how to understand people. And it's still, and even though what I'm doing is what I've said and what I've these videos have sunken in, and the only reason why it has sunken in is because these people fucked around and found out, okay, that this shit is real, okay, and that the reason why all this shit is collapsing in front of them is because it's their fault, okay. It is what it is, okay. I mean, I understand what celebrities have been to people, to these kind of groups of people, okay. I didn't know, I understood that Mormons were people who were big on genealogy. I knew that they were into genealogy big time, okay? But it was just recently that I started putting this whole thing together, about the Mormon connection, okay? So be very careful when it comes to anybody, because I'm going to tell you what, a lot of people have been mind controlled for a very long time. And the trust is still going to be very, very difficult. Do not trust these people. I understand you have your interactions. I understand you have to communicate with them. Just be very careful when it comes to these people. Okay, and because, like I said, you have been indoctrinated for a very long time, and it's going to take some time. You may never change completely. You might, I don't know. I mean, you could be someone what I'm talking about, these Mormon people, his handlers, these people could be the kind of people that just want to always look for some sort of argument. Because I will tell you, that's all I've ever dealt with. I've always had to battle my opinion, or not my opinion, but or justify everything that I've done. And so because there was some sort of agenda to depopulate, which I'm going to talk about that in a minute, depopulate the earth, and also create an earth with all white people. You know what I mean? I already went into all that. This video is not meant to bash Mormons, because I think I've done enough. And I'm summarizing a little bit in my newsletter, of course, but I'm hoping I'm not going to be bashing too much on this, issue. But I will tell you I've dealt with is a lot of trauma. I am going to talk about the New World Order, my concerns and fears, bloodlines, and Now, when I used to hear about the New World Order, people joke about the New World Order. Like, I know that I've watched Nickelodeon shows, I've watched Cartoon Network shows, okay, and sometimes, they'll make a joke, because a lot of times cartoons are actually geared towards adults, okay. They say a lot of kids, they'll watch stuff like that, but they throw in these little, risky type jokes and stuff like that. So there was this one cartoon, and they were talking about the New World Order, right? That's a funny word to say. The New World Order. And the way they said it, they were making a joke about it being a very sinister thing. And the reason why it makes it sinister is the plot of genocide that goes on behind it. That's what it is, okay? It's the plot that, realistically, no, there cannot be that many people in order to have a controllable society. It's just not. You can't. Okay. And I would say that when it talks about tearing down the systems of what was before, they're tearing down the system. Do you know how many evil people there are? Do you know how many people who are willfully ignorant? Okay. There's some people who do not want to change. They do not care, and that's how they are. Okay. And unfortunately, hopefully, if certain things that I put into place go into action, it is what it is. Now, I'm going to be very upfront with you. I know that people, I believe C.B. Berganza was somebody who was looked upon as, a bohemian, okay? And I would say Maria Gordon is pretty much the same way. But do I believe that it could get down to a point where, we have criminals that really are unrepentant, incapable of being, incapable of being, reformed or whatever. If the prison system gets overloaded, which is very likely, well, then, there could be other options, and I think you understand what I'm talking about. I'm a realist, okay? People think, oh, Maria couldn't possibly go there because, she's all flowery and she likes Hello Kitty and stuff like that. No, I understand when it comes to controlling a society, you can't play around. It is what it is. Okay, and this is one of the harsh realities. I understand what it really does mean to rule a society. Okay, and it's unfortunate that these Mormons wanted to play around with me. I'm not someone to be played with. Anyway, the New World Order to me, that it sounds scary, okay, but I'm thinking if people are seeking a good quality life and they are focused on things to improve their life, which is what we're here for. And yes, I understand there are certain people that we have to serve, meaning like, we some people work for the government, right? You have to, I understand that there's a need to provide services. I get that, okay? But for the most part, the laws in this country are written to protect our freedoms. Okay, and freedom is nothing scary. It is nothing rebellious. It does not mean anything. It just means that, if I decide to buy a chocolate chip cookie instead of a vanilla cookie, I shouldn't have to be harassed for that. If I decide to, buy a new dress and wear that new dress, I shouldn't be harassed for that. If I, or people, putting people in employment situations and then telling them how to spend their money. Now, or monitoring their life outside of the workplace. Okay, I honestly do feel as though the work life has been so focused on these petty little political issues that this is one of the reasons why America fails to impress me with their ability to produce anything that really gets me going. This is the truth. I mean, people have been wanting me to talk about politics, so I'm just going to talk about it now. Anyway. So basically what the Mormon Church, as well as these collaborative religions, got together and performed a covert operation on America. That's what they did. Okay? This is why we have this issue with blacklisting. A lot of people are getting blacklisted right now. A lot of people are being shut out of social media, or getting shadow banned. And then forget about if you are struggling to find a job to get online and make some money. Okay? So yeah, there was a covert operation. This is one of the reasons why I understood why I was not happy being called into job interviews. Okay, because I understood how dark it was, and I kept saying, please leave me alone. I do not want to do this. But see, this is why I have a hard time believing that this group that ruled my channel could ever really truly be repentant. What I mean by that is like, okay, because over and over and over and over and over again, they received the instruction, and look how long. The only reason, like I said, the only reason why they're humble is because it hurt them. It hit it where it hurt. It hit them where it hurt. Okay, their businesses are fucked up right now. Okay, and that's why. Okay, because these people love the material plane. And there's nothing wrong with people who want to see success and make money, and there's nothing wrong with that, okay? But they don't care about true spirituality. They have been raised this way. And I'm not saying, that I want to have any friction with the Mormon Church. I'm just saying is when you are dealing with somebody who has been conditioned for that long period of time, don't expect these people to just come out and be like, oh, I'm completely reformed, I'm totally changed. You know what I mean? Or I'm not going to come at you and try to manipulate you in any other way. Because they don't understand the very actions that they do are little micro forms of manipulation that ends up spiraling out of control. They are not fully aware because they have never been trained or informed on people, psychology, any of that sort of stuff. And if they have, they were one of those people who just kind of sat around, got a good grade point average, but when they stepped out of the institution, it didn't do any good. Also, I understand, like, I want to talk a little bit more about class and education. One of the reasons that, it's funny, when I think about the whole CB thing, and I have watched videos, and they never say my name on these videos, right? But I know they're talking about me. They'll say, we don't know how you are still alive. They'll make these little, insinuations. Because these people, this Mormon group, since CB at least, okay, probably King Solomon. They were probably ones why they have such a grudge against King Solomon. They were probably jealous of his spirituality. This goes way back, I'm sure. Okay, so each year, each lifetime, they come back, and this is partly written by their writings in the Bible, possibly, or even their Mormon, the Book of Mormon. Anyway, because it's these additions or these things or orchestrated by cloning, not by God, but by man-made innovations. Okay, so going into class and education. Okay, I understand that throughout the years that they do everything right to try to squash me out. It's we don't like our hair. Like I said, the goal is to dethrone you or to humble you or to take away the things that make you special. This is one of the reasons why they abuse people, and this is one of the reasons why a lot of clones have are have like hermaphrodite type bodies and everything else. Okay, it's a form of their trying to scar you, to reduce the quality of your life. And yes, that is true. Okay, it is very true. Okay, so basically, this is one of the reasons why I was talking about a lot of celebrities get treated like slaves. It is the truth. Okay, now, since they've been putting so many obstacles onto CB Braganza, just like they didn't like his clothes, they didn't like anything that was good for him, whatever, they do everything they can to keep me isolated. So one of the reasons or ways that they tried to keep me isolated was bringing up the education thing. Because, what a lot of people want is they want to have class. They want to have a division. Okay, people naturally form divisions. They do. They naturally form divisions. They do. Whether they realize it or not. Like, I understand, given the chance, the opportunity, if I was to sit, at lunch with certain people, who would I gravitate to with? Or who would I want to be drawn to? Or who would I want to be around? Okay, there's different personality types or different whatever, but some people think that, okay, they only want to be around white people, and that's fine. Okay, that is what it is. People naturally live in all white neighborhoods. I've noticed this. It is how it is, okay? But see, they wanted to create, this whole class thing and like make it so that no one's going to listen to Maria because this is one of their obstacles that they do. No one's going to listen to me. They are so harsh on me. They totally hated me. They wanted to scratch me out. We're going to create this whole emphasis on education. Now, which I think is a joke. See, I've been on the outside looking in on just about everything. And this is the reason why I know not to follow or be a part of with anything that these people do. Okay. Now, going back to the education thing, I was bullied out of school. I mean, ridiculously bullied. I have never been able to even have a job or be anywhere without them trying to poke and get and dig and ruin my life. Okay, they have been the source of anxiety all my life, as Maria Gordon. Like I mentioned a couple nights ago, when I was sitting in school when I was a kid, I would start feeling it. I could feel it in my solar plexus. I could get sick. I'm starting to get this like tummy, like, this pressure in my stomach because you're sensing, they say they got that gut feeling. You're sensing that the shit's about to go down, okay? Some kid's either going to act up, hit you, beat you, challenge you to a fight after school, some drama that you don't want to get sucked into. I could feel it coming on. So, they wanted to exclude me, right, from YouTube, right? The reason why I only have 600-something subscribers is because the Mormon Church wanted to silence me, mainly because they view me as a chosen one. And because they look at me as a child of God, they chose to block me out. This is the truth. Okay, so everything that this religion was doing to me seems extremely demonic. Extremely. If you know that I am a child of God, right? And I hate to use the word God because I know that they have made it sound so bad. Okay, if you know I'm a child of God, why would you show me that little respect? Now, like I said, right now, the intuitive messages that I'm getting about the Mormon faith, I do understand that they are humbled. But like I said, what did it take to make them humbled? What did it take to make them humbled? It was a loss of all that money. That's why. Okay? So I understand right now, these people don't give two shits about me on any emotional level. Okay? So I don't even want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. Okay? So when it comes to the education thing, I'm sorry, I'm just like totally very when it comes to the education, that's what they're using. They're using that to exclude me from YouTube, to exclude me from other people or whatever. Meanwhile, I was thinking, most people who claim to be educated through the system, I'm not impressed with. I'm really not, okay? But they want to abuse you. They want to circularly abuse you. They're the ones who create the problem. If you find a solution or you somehow, like, beat them, meaning like, I didn't know it was a competition, but if you somehow manage to live without them, right, their system or their rules, and that you prove that you beat them, they want to somehow, one up you again. So they use the education thing. Now, mind you, Ko-fi, Patreon had nothing about education in their clause. Nothing. It was a very simple application. I could, fill out my name, confirm my email address, upload my videos. It was simple. Okay, and I did think it had something to do with bank information, okay? But pretty simple, had nothing to do with that. Okay, but I do know that, what's important to understand is Mormons have always been into businesses. They're big business people, and they look at their clones as nothing more than commodities. So watch it. Watch it. Yeah. Anyway, the other message I got, going back to the whole depopulation thing, the robots and the depopulation. I've heard, even when I was a kid, my dad and I used to talk. And this is one of the reasons why I used to like hanging out with my dad so much, because my dad and I would talk about some serious stuff. And of course, we talked about, silly stuff, okay? But we would talk about serious stuff, and he would talk to me about, and he would talk about it as the New World Order. I think that's the word that he used, okay? And I used to wonder, how does that relate to something biblical? Does it relate to something biblical? And now, like I said, as an adult, I understand the Bible is, it's accounts, and it's people trying to create situations through the cloning system. It's a combination of both. I'm going to say that it's a book of wise sayings, and I'm going to leave it at that. A lot of things that are written in the Bible really don't apply to today. Why? Because I know as a woman, I have to survive. Okay, I am not wicked. I am not a Jezebel. I refuse to, I am not. I am an upstanding woman. That's exactly what I am. I'm an upstanding woman, and I realized that I was an upstanding woman, which is one of the reasons why I didn't want people messing with me. I want to live my life to the fullest, which I should, and I have the right to, and no, I do not deserve to be punished. When you punish people for being the best version of yourself, when you get punished for being the best version of yourself, you're dealing with envy. That's what it is, okay? So this particular group has been envious of C.P. Berganza, resentful of his abilities. But anyway, back to the robots and depopulation. Yeah, I've been seeing that coming. My father and I used to talk about that. But he never told me that I was a chosen one or anything like that. But I'm a little surprised about that. But anyway, next one I got is work methods, reason, publicize, educate. Work method. What was I thinking when I wrote that? Oh, okay, now I get it. Okay, now the work methods. What bothered me so much is they squash out all of your initiatives. And they do this by, having such a large influence. This is one of the wicked things about the Mormon church and churches that operate like that. They operate in ways where it's very insidious. Like they do it in a covert manner. And when you deal with things that are in a covert manner, you need to understand that somebody is doing something wrong. You should do not ever trust anybody who operates in a covert manner in this way. Okay, now I know this is a Mormon church thing, and anybody who stands by the pew, on a pew, in one of these places that they're called holy, and starts telling you to do this, and this, I'm going to tell you right now, you're probably in a cult. Okay? It is what it is. But I wanted to create some writings about my publications, about my work methods. And I'm somebody who believes in my work ethic so much that, it would really annoy me when I would be placed in shit jobs, like when I was out there in Buttonwillow, when that motherfucker thought it was okay to throw me out in like one of these like sea trains, right? This sort of bullying that I've dealt with in my bloodline targeting because of jealous people. It means I had to suffer because somebody wanted to play a game that I wasn't interested in playing. You know what I mean? And like I said, I did mention Eileen Wardrose in one of my videos, or two of my videos actually. I do believe that she was, a bloodline targeted person. And what they do is they enjoy watching suffering. Okay? I believe that these people have been highly inspired by the archons. Okay? Like I talked about this before in one of my newsletters. I think it was either the third quarter 2004 or 2005, I started talking about praying for people who who have passed on, and then I also talked about, you know, the archonic energies and the formulations of uh, uh, clones, right? Anyway, so I do believe that these people were inspired by something demonic to create clones. This is what I think. Okay, that doesn't mean that a clone is evil, but the people who created them are. It is, and I do believe that this is, you know, clones are imitations. Okay, and I understand clones experience certain things, and that doesn't mean that, you know, that we're basically spirits in a body. Okay, that's the cool part. We're spirits in a body. That's the cool part. Okay, but I'm saying is, but what happened? The people who did this. Okay, the people who did this. I mean, the Nazi thing and the Mormon fusion with their genealogical records and all this other stuff had evil intent. Okay, they had evil intent. And you can tell they have evil intent to this very day because, you know, they create illusions and they create problems and they do not justly treat the celebrities that are forced to serve them. What else do I want to say? Okay, yeah, I think I already mentioned that, you know, how much I kind of resent the whole woke title, you know what I mean? But see, when you're a person of color, people immediately disregard what you say. You know what I mean? They do it, and it's designed that way. And just like it's designed to discredit somebody or shut down an argument or even the use this as a way of diverting attention. You know what I mean? In political issues. You know what I mean? Like I'm pretty sure a couple of days ago I was watching, I think it was a few weeks ago, somebody brought up the woke definition. They were interviewing a girl. I don't remember where I saw it. It's probably on Facebook, right? When I'm like completely bored. But they were like, can you explain what woke is? Because she was complaining about, you know, using the expression, you know, I'm tired of the woke culture or something like that. It's something negative, because she was saying something negative about it. And the girl asked her to explain what woke was. And she fumbled around. She could not come up with an answer. Okay, and the thing is that she was following the rhetoric that somebody maybe who influenced her. Okay, and a lot of people who are in politics tend to do this. Okay, it's a form of propaganda. Okay, but you know, this is what they do, and they'll use things like woke, and I'm like, okay, what does woke mean? Okay, now I think what they're associating it with is something that's ghetto or something like that. You know, something that they view, you know, is lowly, something that is whatever. Okay, I am not a ghetto person. Okay, and I do not believe that expression should, you know, immediately be associated with that. Okay, even though I understand that it's a, you know, the language thing, the saying woke or whatever, I don't speak that way myself, but I am aware, you know what I mean, I am informed, and this is one of the reasons why, you know, I have decided, you know, in my life in the past, chose to be somebody. I actually even had a title for it. I called it being a world separatist. Like I didn't want to have anything to do with anything, period, at all. At all. Like they'd ask me, "Do you want to vote at the DMV?" I'd be like, "Fuck you, no, I don't. I don't. Okay, I just don't even want to get messed with any of it because I didn't believe in any. It's not that I didn't believe that the structure was created correctly, because I did. I totally believed it. I just kept thinking it's so chaotic. I don't want to spend my time with it, and that's how I felt. The next thing I want to say is, CB is aware, and I don't need to be taught. Oh, okay. One of the things that people assume, and I think this is understood, some people think that clones need to be taught what to do. This is the mentality or the idea and thinking of some of the Mormon handlers and other people who've gotten their hands on some of the celebrities and have mistreated them or whatever. They feel as though they need to tell clones what to do. And the reason why they feel like they need to tell clones what to do is possibly because clones have been isolated and they have been programmed in a way where they have complete ignorance of what goes on in the world around them. It's easier to indoctrinate them this way. If they're not allowed to think for themselves, it's easier for them to teach them one thing and keep them isolated. Okay? And this is how they do it. So, a lot of, I have noticed that in my experience of talking with some of these celebrities, some of them speak about things that I'm just, I'm like, okay, I don't want, how do I say or tell these people that I'm just not going for some of the things that they're saying. And the reason why I'm trying to not want to hurt their feelings is just that some of these people have a very big or a serious detachment from reality. Okay, seriously, like it's almost grandiose. Okay, like I had mentioned the making a rapper, whatever. To me, I'm not comfortable with that. Okay, and the very fact that they would bring that up in the first conversation, I'm just not comfortable with. And I would think that most people would have that sort of social. Well, I guess not. Never mind. Anyway, so unlike a lot of the clones, and I say this with all due respect because a lot of these people who are celebrities, I have a lot of respect for. Okay, and it's not their fault that they're in this situation. It's not. Okay, and this is one of the reasons why I find it so horrific, and I do have compassion for them, even though some of these celebrities were the very first people to snub me when I was going through all of this. Happy to do it. Okay, because I understand what mind control can do to a person. Okay, and like I said, now we're at where we're at. So, but unlike, I am aware. Okay, so I get really irritated when Mormons think, or anybody thinks, or that they need to tell me what to do. You don't need to tell me what to do. Okay? I really resent people. This is one of the reasons why I used to go on and on and on and on about the hair thing, on and on and on and on about my clothes thing. It's like I must have known, like, from somehow intuitively through my past life that you are overstepping your boundaries. Okay? I think that these people have, they ruin the lives of so many people because that's their purpose. That is their purpose. This is one of the reasons why they easily intertwine with terrorist groups such as the Ku Klux Klan and all this other. This is one of the reasons why they like them. And yes, you guys helped this come along. You helped it along. Okay, religion does not belong in any of the decisions that are made for our government. It's a consideration because one of the reasons we give, that there's freedom. People have the right to practice their freedom of religion. Okay, but decisions that are made based on religion, because this decision was based on religion. Okay, I will tell you, laws have already been made in a way that is, to me, almost perfect. The laws were great, okay, and then removing the DEI, it's like, okay, I will tell you, now you create a problem, and now this is what happened. Okay, because it's not a game. But anyway, I don't need people telling me what to do. I'm very confident and understanding, of how I'm supposed to operate. Some people think, oh, when I was younger, I used to dress kooky. I've always loved kooky clothes. Okay, it's a part of self-expression. Maybe I wouldn't wear those stuff today, but it's a part of self-expression. And it's not that they used to try to correct me if I didn't like something, or I remember they were trying to shove technology and stuff like that down my throat because I'm somebody who likes to walk to the store and do my little whatever, my basic stuff. Okay, but what they didn't understand is I take pride in being this person that I am. I like who I am, and I'm aware that I live differently. Okay, and I believe in my way of life. And I believe in my work method. And the reason why I wanted to have my work published or do something with it, because, I feel as though my ideas are much better. And I was angry, when, I remember going to BT Trucking when they brought in this one counselor. And so I knew that was for me. They were trying to indoctrinate me, trying to convince me that it's actually better to work in a uniform. It's actually, I wanted to commit suicide. And I know that that's what those Mormons wanted to do. And this is why I say, still to this very day, even though I don't have a lot of viewers on my channel, but I know it gets uploaded to the Shadow channel, this is why I will never believe them telling me, oh, we're sorry, we can be friends. I will never believe any of that. Because to this very day, on my YouTube channel, most of my views on my videos are the ones with negative titles. It's like they want, I placed a video, I uploaded a video called Boredom. And it was like, okay, that had 8 views, but my other videos had 2. Okay, you know why? Because they're like, oh, is she bored? Oh, we really want to make her bored. Yeah, all right, she's bored. You know what I mean? They don't give a shit about any uplifting, because deep down inside, these people are always going to have this little thing about me. Okay, or they could possibly. Because some of this is that some of these people have just been following, the rules or the ideas of targeting people. That's through the generation. They never thought about it. They never really thought about it. But I do question it, because they knew I'd given them plenty of warning. I told them what was going to happen if they did it, and they did it anyway. And like I said, the only reason why they feel humbled is because they felt in their pocketbook. That's why. Okay, so like I said, I appreciate the fact that you're not going to harm me, or at least you're not going to harm me, okay, and you're hopefully going to clear up your crap. Oh, no, you will not clean it up. Somebody else is probably going to have to do that for you, okay, because you're a religion, and you really shouldn't have fucked around in the first place. Anyway, I do get them an intuitive message that, and I apologize for using profanity, I really do, but sometimes, the more I start thinking about how somebody could have the nerve to want to do something like that, to enslave people. It's shocking to me. Anyway, I do get into a message that the authentic self has inspired a lot of different clothing options for people, and I have seen some really cool people on Instagram, that I thought would be cool, because I have this a little imaginary fashion show thing that goes on in my mind. And I was going to put some of these people that I really like in my newsletter, but okay, my newsletter is 27 pages, okay, and I was like, wow, the last one I think was 15 pages, and I kept thinking, okay, I won't make it that long again. And then I started getting the flashes of, Network Billionaire Boy. Then I found out about the Mormon Church thing, and then I just oh my gosh, okay, so yeah, I'm writing some stuff. Anyway, I mentioned the issue about, getting trauma. I'll try to make some videos about that, about religious trauma, things you can do. Actually, there are some massage techniques that are actually pretty good for stuff like that. You might want to check out some of the Reiki healers here in Bakersfield. I think that might be something you'd be interested in doing. Also, and I'm trying to generate income here in the economy here in Bakersfield. And I was thinking, a few months ago, when I was thinking about, resuming my course at AWI, I was thinking about doing a pro bono advertisement to try to show that I could actually do it. It did flash through my mind, but it would be kind of cool if there was some sort of local advertisement for people who are starting up here for some sort of free thing. I can't do it because I want to do some other things right now, but there needs to be some sort of awareness about people who are trying to start their businesses, or what they sell or whatever. Try to make some money. You know what I mean? Try to support your local businesses. Also, yeah, I do have a very simple life. I do appreciate the simple life, because I guess I understand there's nothing here. There's nothing here. So, the Mormons have been chasing me for the longest period of time, because they envy me, and they also envy all the people that they've cloned. All these celebrities that you see, like I said, they've envied those people. Okay? And so they want to come back, bring you back here on this earth, so that they could try to beat you this time. Do you understand what I'm saying? This is what it's about. This is what bloodline targeting is. So just understand this, okay? You have your business relationships, and you have your friends, okay? And they're not the same. The next one, and the last one, I got the intuitive message that C.B. Berganza was making a lot of kind of statements, trying to explain, he worked kind of, not worked, but he was kind of like a social reformer, like me, okay? But I don't believe that he ever got his message through. I believe that he was somebody who was very much ahead of his time, like I am right now, right? But very much ahead of his time at that time, okay? Because racism was racism is shitty now, okay? But racism was just really, really bad, and it was very difficult for people to really want to take him seriously, okay? I'm very glad that the Mormon Church got hit financially. You know why? Because this is the only way that they're going to stop. And I'm going to say that you need to leave other targeted individuals alone as well. I hope that, because what I want to do is I want to make people aware of human trafficking. I want people to be aware of how religion intertwines. I want people to be aware of this crime. I want people to be able to identify, and I understand there's going to be some people who just don't get it, okay? And I'm tired of people who just don't get it, okay? I'm tired of people who just don't get it, who think it's okay to kind of play these sort of games. This is sort of illegal trafficking should never happen again. Should never happen again. No one should ever have to feel like they're worried about, am I going to have to deal with losing my job because somebody makes you feel uncomfortable, someone's staring at you, someone's trying to modify my habits. Okay, do not sit here and fall into this bullshit. I'm going to tell you what. I understand, like, for example, if you work for a company that has a special logo or whatever, sometimes, they want you to wear that. Okay, I've always personally, I don't like doing that. I'm going to tell you right now, I don't. Because I want to feel excited about what I do. Okay, and it's a psychological thing. It's something that, I am who I am. Okay, I think it's very damaging to a lot of people to be, it's the things that they do. Mormons do evil things. Okay, they do things that harm people. Please forgive me for saying this and talking about this so much, because I'm trying to be peaceful. But see, I will never trust you. I will never trust anybody who is that highly indoctrinated, who is in a position of power. It is what it is. Okay? Like I said, I do want to be peaceful with you. I'm being peaceful, but I'm also having to educate, because I think this is important. This is very important. Okay? I am never going to be in a position to fully trust any of these people. No, I will never trust a Mormon again. Okay, and I understand, chances are I might end up working for an ex-Mormon, a Mormon, or whatever. Okay, but business is what it is. Business is business. Okay. Anyway, I do offer the message that a lot of people are choosing heaven, given the option, and I think that that's wonderful. I choose to stay here for as long as I can, and I want to do great work, meaning like great work that's going to do something positive for society before I die. And when I die, it's going to be my time. My time. When it's my time to go. Okay, why? Because I have work to do that I believe is divinely inspired. Okay, now if I am indeed an immortal, well then this place better be tip top. Okay, because I don't want to live in filth. I don't want to deal with the human scrap heap. Okay, it's a problem. And I don't want, any other generation to grow up to create more human scrap heap. So anyway, looks like I got work to do. Anyway, the link of my newsletter is in the description box, and I do hope that you enjoy it. Take care. Bye-bye.